Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Nexus Gaming Series Season 14, Week number 1. Joining me, longtime captain of Roll1 Esports, my buddy Rock. How's it going, man?
Doing great. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Pretty good, pretty good. Got what should be a good one, I think, tonight. Division D East. ReGen Rebel, been around a few seasons now. They were down in E East where they were kind of middling, and then last season they really found their stride. Finished as the number 1 seed in E East, rolled all the way through the Division East Grand Finals, where they became the runner-up and earned a promotion, and here they are.
Awesome. It sounds like they've got some good synergy already.
Absolutely. And their opponents, LTK Goldeneye, was not around last season, but they were around 2 seasons ago, and they were here in Division D East. Had some roster shuffling, though. Only 3 players from that season still here, and that is Acid Plague, who is here, and Eric Elric, who is also here, and Shadow Vera, who is also here. So the core of the team has returned with some roster shuffling over last season. When they were in Division D 2 seasons ago, they finished kind of middle of the pack, slightly below 500, squeaked into the playoffs, lost to the number 1 seed in the first round, and now they're back to improve on that. So you have kind of a returning D East veteran team and a team that did very well in Division E and earned a promotion.
Nice. This should be a good one. It'll be good to first opening match, getting to see where people are and how everything fits together.
And looks like we are in. Oh, you know what? I have a fancy screen. Special thanks to Ace for his casting setup, which is amazing, where everybody can see the bands. So ReGen Rebel banned Cursed Hollow. They banned Sky Temple. Goldeneye has banned Volskaya Foundry and Towers of Doom, which makes me cry. Although, actually, I don't think that should be Towers of Doom. I think that should be Tomb of the Spider Queen. So I'm going to change that.
Oh, good, good, good.
Yeah,
Towers of
because
Doom's a favorite map.
yeah, nobody wants to ban Towers of Doom. Come on, meow.
Mm-hmm.
No. There we go. Now it's fixed. Tomb of the Spider Queen banned, but we are in draft, where LTK Goldeneye has first banned the most meta of meta tanks, Johann.
Yeah, she definitely still has it all. She's not, broken status as maybe a patch or two ago, but definitely great wave clear tank, great wall tank. Um, Everyone's happy to have it. It's kind of interesting as the first pick team to ban it. So maybe they've got other plans, or maybe they just don't like Joe.
Yeah. I complained about playing Joe for a long time because when you're a tank player, you're gonna play Joe. That's just it's gonna happen. She's probably the most forgiving of the tanks as far as giving you tools to get out of some maybe poor decisions that you've made. But for a while, man, I was just playing her a ton, and maybe they just don't want to play her anymore.
Yeah. Man, they accelerated these bans. So you've got ReGen Rebel banning both Stukov and Rhaegar taking out all the supports. So interesting strategy. Maybe they're trying to do some support chokes or something early on in the season here.
Could be. The May pick, first pick, I believe is twofold. May is kind of Taco's tank du jour. And you don't really see May being first picked a whole lot. So I speculate that the reason May was picked so highly was also a denial for Taco on ReGen Rebel.
Ah, that's cool. And then following up with some just pretty good standard picks, getting the Brightwing for a global, and then Vala, very much so a all-arounder, whether it be burst, sustain, and then her level 20 is just kind of nuts with the mini Sergeant Hammer she can do if they take the AA talent.
Yeah, Vala is one of the heroes right now where if you can leave her in her own space, not under pressure, comfortable, and you just let her do your thing, she is going to absolutely wreak havoc. LTK Goldeneye taking Anduin and Lunara into the mid-ban phase.
Nice. I like that they do have one of their support. They've already got a support, so that way they don't get support choked out. And then Lunara, I think, is in that same spot. Very well-rounded hero. The vision that she brings can be huge, especially when you're looking at rotations and camp invades, just making sure to keep your people safe. so makes her a great anchor. And then we'll see if they pivot into maybe more PvE damage with her level 4. I forget, Nature's Calling.
Yeah, Lunara is one of those heroes, does a lot of things, but I don't think people talk about the Vision enough. Lunara Vision is so underrated, I think. Speaking of another Vision hero, Goldeneye is going to ban out the Chromie.
Yeah, I think that it's also really strong on this map. You have to channel those seeds. First you have to clear the little seed monsters, but then you have to channel it. And so Chromie being able to peg it from over the wall is not fun.
I didn't want to say anything before that pick came out, but last season Prostman Pat drew a ton of Tassadar bans. That's kind of his speciality. So we get to see Prostman Pat on his probably his best hero, and of course Tass brings wave clear, range, damage, a little bit of a stationary target, and combined with Vala, that's two pretty squishy heroes back there. But that wall is pretty good. And then on the flip side, Jaina, burst mage damage, Leo, good wave clear, and of course the isolating heroic entomb. Oh, so good, especially post 20.
Yeah, it's really good. And then potentially she can take into Neil Peasants and take even more wave clear, camp clear. One of the guys mentioned that we're a little soft compared to the in-game.
Oh, well, we can probably fix that.
All right. Thanks, fans of God, for tuning in and letting us know. And then it looks like Taco has picked the Diablo. I don't know if that's a speciality of his as well, but I like it, being able to not only isolate, but on those rotations and things, can potentially get some good pickoffs. Apoc's a great interrupt if they decide to take the bubble from Anduin, and if they decide to entomb, Diablo can say, "You think I'm trapped? You're trapped here with me," and turn around with some flame breaths. So yeah, I really like it. It sounds like a good all-around composition. Lots of macro covered from their Tassadar and Blaze, and Vala can camp. So everything's looking pretty good.
Yeah, and always fun when you get the Entomb with Diablo is the wonky wall interactions that are terribly inconsistent and you never know what's going to happen.
Ah, man, that is kind of frustrating when you Diablo charge into the wall of the thing and then you just get thrown through or you push the person through. It is definitely not enjoyable.
All right, we are going to turn the game down here a smidgen. So let me know in chat if that fixes the problem. Our blue team tonight in game number 1 here on Garden of Terror will be ReGen Rebel, featuring Team Captain Taco on Diablo, Meow Meow Cats on Vala, Prostman Pat on Tassadar, Syl on Blaze, and Bell will be playing, who is that, Brightwing.
And going over towards LTK Goldeneye, in the red trunks we have Lunara being played by Acid Plague, May by Shadow Vera, Leoric being played by Everheart, Jaina by Eric Elric, and Anduin as Highbreaker.
I love the best friend spray, then replied to by the other team with the heart spray.
Yes.
That's amazing.
So you can see right away the amount of instant wave clear advantage that's there. Oh, does Diablo actually get that? Nope.
He is baby Diablo right now, not a lot of souls, but we didn't mention, Rock, one interaction we could potentially see here that will have possible playmaking potential. Diablo, of course, his Q will take the enemy hero and shove them backwards, and if there happens to be a terrain or a wall on the other side, they're going to eat that stun. Tassadar can, of course, create a wall from nowhere. So if Tassadar puts the wall in the proper area, and Diablo shoves the enemy hero into said wall, you can get some free stuns.
Yeah, some free wall bangs there, and it's a really cool combo for isolating people out. I like that both teams have essentially prioritized the soak. I know on Garden of Terror it's all about camps and soak, and being able to get those done efficiently, especially since the map has 6 mercenary camps on it. So being able to take those and not drop any soak is huge. So it looks like both teams are pretty even right now on their soak, so that's great to see.
Oh, you see, actually, I got in bottom just in time to see them try that, but Pat was just a smidgen late on the wall. Otherwise, Lunara would have been a little bruised, I think.
Taco still being a little aggressive there.
Yeah, both sides, you'll notice, looking at the mini-map in the lower right, prioritizing the mercenary camps. Of course, if you happen to be new to Heroes of the Storm, welcome. Mercenary camps are these little guys scattered throughout the map. If you defeat them and stand on a little channel point, as we're going to see Rebel do here now, they will respawn and push down a lane. This particular camp will actually give you spell armor, which will give you some amount of damage reduction against ability damage.
I like how Red was here on time and has quickly channeled this. Are they going to get interrupted? Oh, Blaze does get the interrupted time. Looks like a fight's brewing. Taco's running in deep. Taco's half health. Oh, Brightwing's got his back. Or does he?
Yeah,
great stun by May.
Vala was just a smidgen late to the party, so she wasn't quite here on time to get the damage out. And Taco kind of paid the price there. I half thought Rebel might have not been interested because it was on the red side of the map, but they were just a hair late and went in just a little bit disjointed, and unfortunately Taco got punished.
I think Taco will do fine once he gets all of his souls, right? He's got that spell shield. And
is that a red card, Rock?
No. Spell shield's the best talent on level 1.
I wasn't sure. I lose track of all those red cards.
All I know is that Cattle and them make all those funny red card, yellow card jokes. But yeah, spell shield's very well played. I like how Taco's scouting this out over here. He sees them, but are they going to act on it?
I think there's too many red players here. They were kind of smelling it out. And now Leo's going to come reinforce, though. Taco kind of isolated out again. Eats the snowball slow. Eats the spooky hand from Leo, forcing the Brightwing teleport heal. Sill on Blaze, stun doesn't hit, but Taco, and I think this might be a problem for Taco, honestly. When you dive on May, the blizzards and slows, if you don't get what you want, you can really be stuck in there against a May.
Yeah, based on what I'm looking at right now, I think their win condition, it turns on real strong at 10. Being able to polymorph and get those interrupts and have all the souls, they need those level 10s versus, said LTK over here has a lot of early game burst potential to punish no matter who steps up. So I unfortunately, I think from that skirmish they had to give the seed. They were just too low to re-engage.
Welcome, welcome. I see the viewer list slowly ticking up, those of you who are just getting here. Early game, Rock, I think LTK has been just a little more Johnny on the spot with the objectives. They've both arrived on time to both of them, and as a cohesive unit ready to roll, whereas Rebel hasn't quite been able to do that yet. So in both of the skirmishes over the objective, they've kind of been on the back foot a little bit.
And then they're pretty much even on mercenary camps here, so I'm glad to see both teams still prioritizing them. And with this seed going bottom, the mercenary camps, you could potentially make a macro play and try and push those out, so it's pushing while you're fighting. But this neutral seed, if the blue doesn't want to give a 3 of 3, so they're going to have to run down. You see those pings coming saying that they're on their way, so let's see if they're able to get it here early enough to make advantage of it.
Taco way out in front again. The Brightwing does teleport into heal, but she eats a ton of Jaina damage for her trouble, and Rebel is running for their lives once more. And that Rock, that was without even Leoric here.
Yeah, unfortunately Taco survived because he popped the spell armor, but poor Brightwing just couldn't get out of the Jaina Blizzard.
Yeah, I'm watching. I really pay attention to these engages by Diablo. I think Taco's really struggling, although that is a great wall by Pat there. Picking up the kill on Lunara. Vala does go down as well. But
how does Taco live? That was
he's a beefy boy.
Oh man.
Well, they gotta give this though. Taco, you crazy man. Once again goes in and Brightwing pays the price on both blizzards, the May Blizzard and the Jaina Blizzard. Diablo will finally go down, but Rebel refusing to yield there. Finally conceding the third tribute. I think the thing to watch for, Rock, Taco trying to engage into the May counter-engage. It has been in favor of May thus far.
Yeah, definitely. He just hit 100 souls right before he died there, and so we see he's instantly back up. we'll have to see how they decide to split for clearing this. Right now, it looks like they're trying to do some sort of 1-1-3 where they are in every lane and counter soaking. And yep, it looks like LTK has decided to forgo the bottom and to get a strong push going in the mid lane. And so we'll see if a good Garden of Terror. I forget what they're called, the Nightshades or whatever. Oh, Diablo did engage. That's a great engage. Oh, the Luna pulled. Ah, it looks like they're gonna live. It was such a good engage. And the snowball with 50 health.
Oh, no!
Oh, wow.
That looked like it was going to be Rebel's moment there. A great APOC stun. They caught a squishy target. But the Anduin pull allows Lunara to hippity-hop away. And then a huge 4-man counter engagement snowball just absolutely breaks up everything Rebel was trying to do.
Yeah. And this is having... man, that was so close. 2 heroes sub 100 health that really, that snowball just saved the day. What I was trying to say is when you look at your first Garden Terror, the goal is normally to get all 3 walls and put some structure damage. And if you get lucky or you have a little bit better siege, you can maybe take out one of those early forts. So looking at what we see here on the map on blue, it looks like ReGen Rebel did a great job with their first objective.
Yeah, but despite the kill advantage and the first objective, you look at the map, Rock, and you look at the levels, it is basically a dead heat.
Yeah, the change that we see is all due to minion experience. They said the Blaze has done a great job of soaking up all that extra XP between Blaze and Tassadar. And so, as I said, pre-level 8, any XP you get from the minions is worth more than kills. And so despite those early deaths, maybe from Taco engaging or trying to stop those seeds, they are still quite in this, and in some cases ahead.
Yeah, I haven't had a chance to touch on it quite yet, but we do have heroics on board for both sides. Of course, heroic abilities are the kind of signature high power, generally high cooldown ability that each hero gets when they hit level 10. Diablo has the APOC, which will put a stun ring over all of his opponents. Vala, Rain of Vengeance, which is like a straight line stun in front of her. Is that right? Emerald Wind for Brightwing. Is that Combustion? It is Combustion for Blaze, and of course we saw the Black Hole from the Tassadar. Taco eating a lot of damage again, but that is a big APOC, forcing Goldeneye to kind of break up what they're doing. Combustion hits 3 on the back. Jaina in a lot of trouble on the other side, but once again, Rebel can't quite finish her. Rain of Vengeance doesn't hit. Hippity Hop jumping all over Tass on the back side. Now Leo, though, gets pushed away, flipped, stunned, and killed, and they do. Meow Meow Cats finally confirms Jaina on the other side, but Bambi comes in and mops her up, so a 2-for-1. And the seed, for the first time, a little momentum for ReGen Rebel.
Yeah, that was a great engage. The not only the APOC stun, but when they went to counter engage, Brightwing hit the Emerald Wind and just completely stopped any follow-up or ways to protect Jaina as they're getting engaged on there. And then Leo, unfortunately, had essentially died for her sins and tried to entomb to save the rest of the team. And Leo dying's not so bad. Leo's got a cool trait. He comes back to life. And looks like Diablo's been scouted out on this rotation. That is a nice wall in an Emerald Wind to secure Diablo's escape.
Yeah,
so.
It kind of feels like, Rock, like whichever team is getting the counter engage, at least so far, the counter engages for both of these teams have felt more powerful than the initial engage.
Yeah, there's not... Yeah, the way that this map's kind of structured with all the rotations, you typically don't have the full 5-on-5 fights until those seed points. So it's going to be down to positioning, and are you fighting for the seed, or are you committing to the team fight? You kind of see here we're a little split. We've got Prospad on that, and we've got Diablo looking for a kill. Let's see if we're able to get this. Oh, Spooky Walk. Oh, his Spooky Walk's canceled early. It's in the Entomb, but who's trapped with who? And the Combustion comes off, and that's going to be 3 people hit with Combustion. They're really low. That's a great play stun. And oh no, the life up! Can you live, Highbreaker? He's sacrificing himself, and then Prospad's just going over here on out. And that's going to be a 5-man wipe. Oh my goodness. Those chokes are not safe for LTK Goldeneye. Well done for ReGen.
Yeah, not just an ace, but I was watching that, and I kind of didn't like it for Rebel because Pat was channeling the seed while his team was taking like a full 5v4. And they basically won that before Pat on Tassadar even arrived. He comes, and then it just really throws the lever in their favor, and they get an ace, they get the seed, they steal their camp, they take their lunch money. They also win a talent tier advantage.
Oh man, this is going to be a really difficult fight. When they've got that talent tier advantage, you can kind of see on the screen that everybody has one more new ability. Talent tiers happen obviously at 10, 13, 16, and 20. And being down a talent tier makes it really difficult to fight. And sometimes you have to take the punishment on the chin as far as going through and trying to fight down a talent tier. But it looks like LTK thinks that this is their one chance to fight, and they're taking it.
That was a big three-man stun from Blaze. Taco going in. Does catch the Jaina. She's forced to pop the ice block. That's going to be a nice light bomb to keep her going, but who is that? That's May on the other side taking a lot of damage. Emerald when pushing Leo away and getting him. There's the APOC catching two. Tassadar throwing in the damage from way downtown, but Meow Meow Cat's on Vala. Holy moly, kill after kill after kill until Pat just came in and stole that fifth one from her right at the end.
Wow, that was pretty dominant. I couldn't tell who it was either when Right Wing polymorphed it into a sheep or crab. I don't know which visual automation you saw. But yeah, maybe they did not get the engage they wanted. I think their main engage tool happens to be Leoric on the Entomb. And, you know, once we land the Entomb, is it supposed to be a light bomb follow-up? Or, because, like, if the snowball is used for peel, it's kind of hard to lock down and secure those kills to make sure that people are standing in the Jaina damage.
Now, Goldeneye in a rough spot. Camps in mid lane and bot lane, pushing with the objective. They're down 3 levels and a talent tier still, and they're pushing all of these keeps down. Of course, if the keeps go down, you get extra pressure in the form of catapults spawning in that lane. So losing your keep is a really big deal as far as map pressure goes. Bottom keep, very low. Top keep, well, Vala's going to clean that up here in just a moment. And that is going to be 2 2/3 keeps taken down by ReGen Rebel. They went from kind of seeming a little behind to in control very, very quickly.
Yeah, they got 2 good fights on their side, and that gave them 3 of 3 seeds. And unfortunately, as the game goes on later, the seeds and the objective get stronger. And so, you know, we were talking about how the first objective, you typically want to get, you know, all 3 walls and some damage. And on their first objective, ReGen managed to get 2 keeps, and that's punishing. So we'll have to see if they can find a fight here before 20s, where they're still at an even talent tier.
I like that idea. They kind of saw an isolated Leo, tried to run him down, couldn't quite get it, and that's fine. But they do get a Leo sort of again who is able to ghost walk away. But I mean, if you're Goldeneye here and Rebel is fishing, I think you give them this fight. You want to fight right now. If Rebel's willing to give you that pre-20 fight, I think you take it.
Yeah, looks like they're just
too late now.
Turtling up, you know. We'll have to see. They can stall, but I said I don't know. That's a good Luna vision to try and find where they're hiding. The Wisp was immediately taken out, though. So yeah, they know that they're in range.
Uh-oh.
Snowball pushes 3 away, but that Lunar is down. Still diving in deep with Combustion. Got the support coming in from Brightwing. Highbreaker's running for his life. And unfortunately, that rotation, this ended up getting a dead pony. There's an Entomb. There's a 3-man Entomb. It's just, once again, like the damage structure, I don't know how they get the follow-up on there. It's a great stun from Taco and a great pull from Highbreaker to save Jaina.
Yeah, I think the issue there for Goldeneye was they stepped really far into that lane. They knew Rebels in the neighborhood, and their flank to the back line was just totally exposed. So they got a free run onto Lunara, basically. And I think this is going to be it, Rock.
Yeah, you can kind of see already that attack range from Vala. Well, Vala's still tanking it, but you can see the range there as she's able to just turn away at the building. And, yep, looks like that'll be game 1 going over to ReGen Rebel. GG's well played, and we'll continue to see how we recover for the next one.
Yeah, so game 2, loser of game 1, in this case, LTK Goldeneye. They get the choice of either taking picking the map for game 2, or they can choose to get first pick in draft for game game 2. So captains will be working that out momentarily, and they will be telling us. In the meantime, looking at the stats here, does anything jump out at you in particular?
I actually really liked the amount of soak and things that were getting completed and done. Like I said, the LTK had a great early game and they are able to keep up on soak. Blaze obviously was their main double soaker and trying to get that different types of flanks and stuns. The amount of healing that Brightwing performed was fantastic. I know early game Brightwing unfortunately ended up killing herself a few times trying to save Taco, but as the engages and level 10s came online, ReGen Rebel was able to just kind of run that game over with their ultimates. So I'm quite appreciative of that, and that they were able to kind of wait for their win condition and get a good engagement.
And tip of the hat to Vel too, because we pointed that out 2 or 3 times in the early game. The teleport into all of the Jaina stuff. We didn't see her do that after the first couple times.
Yep.
So I think she probably realized that as well and made said adjustment.
Hmm. Did what talent on 4 did Lunara go? I couldn't quite tell if that was the PVE talent or the Q burst talent.
Let's see. Talent at 4 for you said Vala?
The Lunara.
Lunara. Blossom Swell. So Q.
Okay, cool. So she did go the burst damage talent. So yeah, I it looked great. Like I said, I'm like just the hoppity hops were able to get her out of a sticky situation twice once she used it to get away from the Jaina or the Vala as they were coming on a flank with that top right seed, and then she was able to also use that wisp to try and find vision, and just unfortunately just was not able to secure kills inside that entomb. And so maybe something to look at, or maybe if the plan was instead of Welly was ring to have that like entomb ring kind of blow up system. But yeah, once Regen Rebels tens came online, they were able to get their picks, disrupt with the APOC, disrupt with the Emerald Wind, and it pushes to keep Tassadar and everyone safe, and then combustion surprise. I'm so used to bunker, and definitely it got damage done.
And as we can tell, we're very family friendly here. Pat actually DM'd me before and said his nephew would be watching. So hello to Cash if you're out there. If you have any questions, drop them in chat. Rock and I will be happy to answer them for you. I hope you guys enjoyed game number 1. Still waiting on what LTK Goldeneye has decided they would like to do here in game number 2.
I I'm not sure if they're gonna go map pick or first pick. Do you remember who picked Garden of Terror? That was
That was Regen Rebel lost coin flip, and Goldeneye decided to take first pick. I think they'll do it again, take first pick. Just kind of they decided May was worth a ban slash denial. Vala was problematic. Tassadar was problematic. So those I think all kind of fall within something you want to control within a draft, and
mhm.
that first pick gives you basically 3 denials and bans instead of just 2. So if I am Goldeneye, I think I prefer the extra draft control, unless I have maybe a specific target, a strat for a specific map.
Totally. I think that makes sense. It especially with this season in NGS having 11 maps open, you there's so many options, you can't ban everything. So being able to control a little bit that you have will probably be better. And so controlling the draft and making sure that you have your picks will be strong.
Absolutely. Hmm. I wonder. You have these conversations after a loss where you're kind of you don't have a lot of time in between games to have these conversations. Where as a team, you're trying to identify, what do you think went wrong, and what adjustments we need to make, and you and I have played this for a long time, and sometimes you're kind of, in my opinion, when you lose, I think the first thing I try to identify is the team actually much better than us, or was it a close match and if these things would have gone slightly differently, we win the game. Because to me, the answer to those questions determines how you adjust in the next map, right? If you felt it was close, you make minimal adjustments and feel you're okay. And if you feel like they're maybe much stronger than you, that's when you try to weird out a win, if that makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. If you are superiorly the underdog, which in this game I didn't think that they were that far behind. Like I said, just a couple engagements that were maybe questionable. The one that was down a talent tier, we could have maybe saved a couple more keeps. Or sorry, yeah, we could have saved a couple keeps if we didn't take that at an uneven talent tier. Uh, I think they were still in it. They were looking good. The I think for me, when I look at breakdowns, I always start with, did we execute what we wanted to do? Because you can argue back and forth about, oh, they took our Tassadar or they took our Vala, and or it's like, and yeah, it sucks to not have the hero that you want, but it comes down to, did we actually execute our plan? And if we weren't able to do that successfully, it kind of doesn't matter what heroes you have. So
Yeah, for sure. And the only thing that jumps out to me looking back that I thought maybe in the moment I even sold it was the end of the game. I mentioned, I'm like, this is 17-19. You want to find something pre-20, and Rebel was fishing around. They would have given them the fight had Goldeneye got aggressive, and they didn't. They turtled and they stayed back, and then they overextended into lane after ReGen Rebel got 20. I think that's a moment when those guys go back and look at this game that I think you highlight is kind of a teaching moment on something you could have done a little differently as far as the textbook of the game, if that reads right.
yeah.
All right, game number 2. We were correct. LT Goldeneye did opt to choose first pick to have more control over the draft. So ReGen Rebel selected Infernal Shrines for game number 2. Infernal Shrines, one of the more, I would say, standard maps in the game, kind of the prototypical one, at least in my mind.
Yeah, definitely. It feels like every season of NGS, Infernal Shrines ends up being one of the top five, or sorry, top two maps that are played. A fun thing about Infernal Shrines is you can have multiple win conditions.
Absolutely.
You end up having super team fight oriented ones, kind of similar to what we saw Regen Rebel play last game, where you show up as 5, you all push your R button, and something's got to die. Then there's more objective based compositions where maybe you take things like a Diva or a Ragnaros, maybe a Tychus with Odin, and your goal is to just fight over the shrines, and you make sure that you are able to secure the objective by using your ultimates. And then the last one, not as common nowadays because it people find it kind of boring sometimes, is that macro strategy where you're just abusing all of the lanes and pushing and trying your best to knock down structures and keep the enemy guessing and force uneven fights. You're looking for those opportunities where, if you don't answer me, I'm going to take your keep. And that's still doable on this map. So it's a lot of fun. We'll see how ReGen Rebel wants to play it, and if LTK has a trick up their sleeve or something they've got special for first pick this time around.
Yeah, I know as GoldenEye sticks with the first ban Johanna as in game 1, I know when I want to feel out where my team is kind of in relation to another team if I don't know them very well, this is kind of the map. This is the map where I feel like, let's take them there and see what it feels like. This is the map I feel like I can get the best idea of the relative power levels of the two teams. Rebel banning out the Rhaegar once more. Sonya being banned out this time. Was that the same ban as
Same
last
ban
time?
so far.
Same ban.
Yep.
Sonya, I think, a little more valuable on shrines because she can really clear out those monkeys without taking any damage. She can do it by herself and sustain through it. And I think something underrated on shrines is heroes that can fight on the shrines effectively and then also, by virtue of their collateral damage, clear out the shrine monkeys at the same time. And Sonya is one of those.
Yeah. In the same fashion, populars like Li Ming aren't as popular because they end up having a lot of their high priority skill shots blocked by those minions that happen to be just standing in the way.
Our
So,
world is worth
oh, and
fighting
it looks
for.
like same game plan. We're gonna open up with May, and you mentioned before that's a taco special, so getting to take that away and see what changes, and see if it's just, hey, we were rusty, we weren't communicating well, and we're gonna go with the same plan and take it to them.
If I'm Rebel, I open my draft up the exact same way because if you're them, I'm like, I don't need to change anything. We won last game. We're gonna make the other team change what they did to win the game. I think last time they opened up with Vala Brightwing. This time
Yep.
swapping the order around a little bit, going with Tassadar Brightwing, but still functionally the same. Basically, we're gonna stick with what we did. And let's see where Goldeneye changes what they do, or are we just going to run it back? I don't think I've seen a game where we literally ran it back. That would be interesting.
Yeah, I said the you see Anduin there, same one as before, and
Oh,
this time
there it is.
taking a Hogger. All right. So Hogger, especially being the newest of the members added to Heroes of the Storm, has a very cool ability where he can go into a whirlwind like a Tasmanian Devil and bounce off the walls. And if you angle it just right, you can get some of those infinite bounces where the Hogger just spins or bounces back and forth and clears out those minions as he's just zoning around and doing damage. So definitely a high priority for the map and being able to help secure that objective.
Yeah,
And this time they don't want to deal with Jaina.
and not just the Hogger on shrines in particular for the infinite bounce, but also Hogger different from Leo. Leo is a little more of a setup offlaner. He wants to drop that in tune and get some big slows out. What he's not going to do is YOLO onto the back line and kill an assassin. If Hogger gets onto the Tassadar, he can do some work.
Yep.
So maybe the Hogger pressure on the back line will open some things up for Goldeneye that weren't there. And Goldeneye also respecting Meow Meow Cats' Vala and saying, no ma'am, no thank you, no Vala now.
Yeah, maybe they were thinking that May would have enough blinds to cover the Vala, but Vala was more spell-based damage last game and was not able to really stop the damage. And then kind of some changeover, taking away the Lunara this time from LTK Goldeneye and Sylv sticking with the Blaze.
Yeah, you have to figure Rebel had something in mind. If you're Rebel's team captain, drafter, game planner, you figure GoldenEye's probably banning out Vala the way that draft went, right? When you picked Tassadar instead of Vala, you were basically conceding they would probably ban the other one. Maybe prioritizing Tassadar because of the kind of auxiliary clear. I really like that Tychus pick. That's kind of a denial of Diablo.
Yeah, it's really good. And I just noticed it looks like they have a quote unquote sub, or they
Oh,
tagged out
Fangs.
a team member. We have
I
Fangs
did.
now. And so Fangs over here playing a Zul'jin. Zul'jin's one of those heroes that sometimes is feast or famine. You get him stacked and he just wrecks things. And then other times it feels like he's a sitting duck. And wow, we're picking a Nubarak into all of these heavy AA heroes.
Yeah, that
Taco again maybe having a very difficult matchup this game.
I thought that too. Anubarak tends to do better into ability damage and tends to struggle a little bit more into a hero like Zul'jin and Tychus a little bit less that can just right click on him and chunk him down. So Taco really going to have to pick his spots here and make sure that he doesn't burrow charge in and get himself into trouble. The flip side, a well-timed cocoon is an absolute game changer in any kind of team fight.
Yeah, kind of loading in. I would have to say that Red Team again, or sorry, ReGen Rebel again has a very team fight oriented draft plan. They've got their waves covered with the Tassadar, potentially additional PvE with the Lunara, versus the Red Team. That's an objective based comp, right? They've got the Hogger for the Shrine, they've got Tychus for the Shrine. Be interesting to see if they're able to win those objectives. That's going to be their win condition.
Well, blue team trying to close out the 2-0 sweep and pick up all 3 of those precious points in the standings. We have Taco playing a Nubarak, Frostman Pat back on his patented Tassadar. Vel will be playing Brightwing, Syl will be playing Blaze, and Meow Meow Cats will be playing Lunara.
And heading over for LTK Goldeneye for Game 2, we've got Shadow Vera playing May, Highbreaker back on Anduin, Eric Elric playing the Tychus, Fangs on the Zul'jin, and Everheart playing Hogger.
So this game it is going to be as they're looking to cheese bottom with some beetles here. So the beetles will eat the shots from the tower, and they're going to get about half of it before they're going to really have to blow out of here. I think they may have oh, wall. Sure, that makes sense.
Oh, man.
Taco probably okay with Burrow Charge. Probably. Great heal by Brightwing there. Nice job.
Yeah. Yep, well done. Well played. And to your point, they didn't take too much damage. They said they were able to rotate down fast enough, but they did end up having to rotate all 5 down. And so we're seeing that the top lane is where some soak has been missed already. So hopefully Ever is able to catch up there and at least pick up those XP globes. If you look real quick, there's some big globes and little globes. The way that this game works, if you are more than 15 seconds late, the big globes that give you full XP turn into tiny globes. And those tiny globes still give you XP, but only a portion. So
I think it's 25%, I think.
I don't remember. I just remember get the big globes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 25%. So we touched on it briefly, but Game 2, Acid Plague subbed out, Fang subbed in for LTK Goldeneye. You don't see too many teams do that, but every now and then teams will sub out a player for either, I don't know, maybe scheduling things, or they want a specific hero, or some teams rotate players in and out more than other teams.
Yeah, it's hard when you've got a bunch of friends that all want to play, and you've got a roster of 7 to 10 players, and or sorry, 7 to 9, and it's like, okay, well, I want the subs to get playtime too. So
don't give Valk any ideas with the 10.
So, oh no, Taco got trapped on the mid. Ooh.
This is a 4v3. Goldeneye is being really aggressive, even though they're outnumbered here.
Yeah, well, May still has her D, so she kind of felt safe to stick around and being able to turn into that block of ice if she needed to, and just good rotations in camp control again from ReGen Rebel. Had the timings down on that.
And Syl doing a nice job of trying to pick up all the soak here everywhere else, so her friends can just perma-brawl in the bottom lane.
And looks like we're finally starting to see that double soak rotation come out as Hogger's catching up and getting mid. So we'll have to see if the 4-man is able to net some kills. That's a deep dive. Oh, that Tassadar wall splits him off. Oh no, is it going to be close? No, Anduin's not able to pull himself out. And Shadow Vera is able to ice block away.
And that is why Pat drew a lot of Tassadar bans last season.
So first objective is coming up north and the very top of the map here. Fun thing about the objective, after you kill the 30 minions that are on there, you get one of 3 different types of objectives. This particular one, if you look at it, has a nice fiery orbs on it, telling you that it's a mortar punisher. This punisher punches and jumps on enemy heroes, but launches a bunch of fireballs from the Diablo universe and does high impact damage. You really don't want to be standing in those fireballs, especially if you get leaped on. Looks like despite the advantage kill that Blue got, Red was still able to group back up and get Heroes 5.
Yeah, slight early game XP level advantage to Rebel as Taco goes in very deep, and a great follow-up stun by Syl, forcing a total disengage from Goldeneye. You use the official name, of course, for the objective is the Punisher. Unofficial name, John Cena. As seen in the wonderful Carbit animations. If you have not seen any of the Heroes of the Storm Carbit stuff, what is wrong? You should. But because the Punisher jumps from the top rope, he is called John Cena, and Taco's in trouble. Syl absolutely saved Taco's bacon there with a big-time stun. I kind of want to see Rebel back up here and reset just a smidgen because they're so far up on the objective right now.
Yeah, you see that infinite bounce here from the Hogger going back and forth, and oh my goodness, Taco goes down. As I said, Hogger has to stop that bounce or he's going to die, but Meowcats is now in trouble. Woo! Fang wasn't able to get that last auto attack off. And once again, they are pushed off. They only need 5 minions, though.
Oh, Anduin's little throwy thing he does. I don't even know what that ability is called. Actually was able to finish off Lunara. And Rebel has got to, this has got to be so frustrating. They're at 37 and they just can't get in there.
Yeah,
Tassadar, I think, is going to get it, though.
If the minions keep getting pulled over, Tassadar's big Q can reach. We'll see if they do it. Shadow Vera doing a good job to zone. Same with Everhard. That's a good placement there. And here they go, engaging deep. Oh no, the Fangs is in trouble. 120 health.
There's the 40. Good pull.
All right. Yeah, good pull, but Fangs is saying, "See you later, guys," and split the difference.
That is so unfortunate for Goldeneye. Just when you're down 37, it's so hard to deny a team for that long. And there's the John Cena off the top rope that I was talking about. There's the wall. Taco with the double follow-up. But Taco maybe going to go down too. Tychus kind of dashing away.
Yeah, some good damage into Taco there from Eric Elric on the Tychus. The Punisher jumps about every 10 seconds. I was about to say there's another one coming, and they were not able to follow up on it like they did the first one. That really caught them off the guard there and then set up that Tassadar wall. So pulling that Punisher away, they're going to have to give that building.
Yeah, for only being 5, almost 6 minutes into the game, over a full level discrepancy is not really what you want to see if you're the Goldeneye team here. That's a decent-sized margin for this early in the game.
And almost all of it comes down again back to minion experience. If you pop open your screen and take a look, you'll see that Blaze has been doing a great job. Even though they were pushing in, they didn't push as 5. As soon as they won the objective, Blaze went and picked up Soak. So they're almost all of their advantage. They have about 1,000 from XP. They've got triple the mercenaries that from LTK. And then they got that structure damage. Yeah, so that slowly will give them a little bit more passive experience over this time.
It's actually not any one category. They are literally, I actually popped it up while you were talking about it, they are winning in every measure of experience. So.
Yeah, just goes to show that a well-refined team that you mentioned early on that got promoted up is got their basics in order and has got priorities in order for soap and camps and things.
Yeah, and I kind of expect Rebel to be in good form. They've pretty much had the same roster for a pretty long time. Very little roster turnovers. Taco goes in hard again. Hits the cocoon onto Anduin to prevent the healer from doing much, but quickly burned out by Tychus. So I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised to see them kind of being in close to mid-season form. Whereas LTK Goldeneye, they took a season off. They do have a couple newer additions, so maybe kind of working it in a little bit. It is first game of the season, so.
And they're definitely not getting smashed. They have lots of good plays and good signs of life. I've loved Tiebreaker's pulls so far, definitely being able to save teammates and being able to also set some good plays. We saw last game May got a really good snowball, and so looking at 10s this time around, May again opting for snowball. Anduin again with the light bomb. Tychus going with the laser instead of Odin. And Zul'jin picking up the Taz Dingo, as he likes to shout as he barely survives death. And Hogger actually with the Shockwave.
And for ReGen Rebel, we have, of course, Cocoon, Emerald Wind, Combustion once again, Leaping Strike, and Black Hole. If you haven't noticed, Rock, Taco, full beetle build, and he is running those beetles into buildings a lot. Oh, Zul'jin, don't do it. Don't check the bush. Okay, he didn't. Rebel was baiting a trap, but there they go. Deep in on the Anduin. Follow-up stun doesn't hit, but Taco goes too deep and gets absolutely murderized, even though May, I should say, was cocooned out. And that is not great timing if you're a ReGen Rebel fan.
Yeah, that tower just got the minus armor on them, and then already make Anubrak being quote-unquote weak to auto attacks. He really just melted there. So, and then we see the laser comes down and good microwing there to turn it around and hit some minions or hit enemies. And this is a huge lead. They're going to be up 15. Oh wow, and there's the Hogger bounce. You can see
that's a good one there.
The 10. Oh no! Shockwaves away. Ever's fine.
Shadow Vera is very low, Rock, as is Everhard. Lunara coming on the flank. There's the combustion. There's the black hole. There's the stun. Shadow Vera does get the light bomb for the shields, but the wall holds him there, and May is the first to go down. And all of that advantage they worked for on the objective is gone. Although Taco, oh my goodness, Taco, no! Taco goes down again.
That went just short.
Oh, Lunara goes down as well. However, on the backside, Tassadar, Vel, and Syl are able to secure the objective despite actually losing 3 heroes over that objective phase to only 1.
Yep, and as they come in here, let's see if LTK is able to do this right. One of the
Oh,
no,
no.
Anduin!
Oh,
Anduin!
no.
Okay, so don't clump up, guys. Don't clump up. He's gonna jump on your face. So, oh, no. Okay. Whew. All right. What I was trying to say is if they did a great job outside of clumping and almost dying to the Immortal, you can pull it away from your buildings. That way it doesn't actually do any damage. So despite that ReGen Rebel won that objective, they essentially traded down since that didn't get any structure damage. So well played from LTK to keep things safe and try to stabilize from their early game first objective loss.
I love this move, though, going in with the camp and with beetles, and they just burn this building down. No chance of defense there. Yeah, you touched on it briefly, Rock. One of the first things I look for on Shrines as an opportunity to improve is the very first thing I do is how many of us are eating Punisher stuns? And if the answer is more than 1, you need to change something, because you should really only be eating 1 Punisher stun. Usually, but not always the 10.
Yeah, or someone that has some sort of cool unstoppable move.
Leo.
Anduin, yeah, like Leoric. Anduin also, if they have no one else there, they could pull whoever got jumped and immediately cleanse off that stun. And we see here, ReGen is they're making an aggressive maneuver. Taco tries to scout them out and is unsuccessful. But they take this fight. That's a great shockwave from Hogger. Oh my goodness, that's a new wreck. To run away.
One of the disadvantages to the beetle build, if you don't turn them off and you're trying to bush, little beetles run out of there.
Oh, did they see that beetle?
I don't know. I wonder if that, because I would be interested to go back and watch, because it felt like Taco just needed to wait there a little bit longer, and then he kind of ran out, and I wonder if a beetle ran out of the bush.
Yeah, that definitely was just half an inch off from a stun, as well as maybe half a screen of distance between the next follow-up CC from his.
So, level-wise, XP-wise, this game is an absolute dead heat. Structure advantage in favor of ReGen Rebel, courtesy of 2 unanswered John Cena's. But LTK Goldeneye actually killing Rebel more than Rebel killing Goldeneye. Good awareness here by Hogger.
Yeah, well done. You see the whole team rotated for that Hogger.
Look where Taco is. They went way deep to try to catch him out, and that was a really good map awareness there.
And they're rewarded with all this bonus XP. Is there something that they can do briefly with this 15-16 window? I see them rotating up on Taco. Taco does have a way to dig out, but he's currently cut off.
He's only got one of them.
Crescent Moon. Oh, goodness.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, Vel there on right wing tried to save the day. Like I said, didn't want to TPN and die as well, but still threw the Emerald win. What do you do if you regen here? You lost your tank, Shrine's up. Do you still contest? Do you fight? What are you looking to do?
That is a great question. 25 seconds. Of course, the longer the game goes on, the longer the death timers are. So Taco will, I don't think, be here in time to contest this. So I think I do exactly what they're doing, which is grab all of the camps, so at least Goldeneye won't be able to 5 press with the objective. Yeah, Taco's still 4 seconds up, and they're going to finish this here in just a few seconds. I don't think Taco will even be able to get here before the objective fully spawns. This is really ballsy, though, because you know Goldeneye has just finished the objective, and if I am Goldeneye, I am eyeballing this camp, but they didn't rotate down quite fast enough. You can see 2 camps in the middle, 1 in the bottom. The bottom one in particular needs to be answered. John Cena is already over the wall. Taco did bait him over off camera there.
That was a good dig. He actually timed it well and didn't get stunned using his invincible frames, if you will, while he's digging.
So only the wall going down for this Punisher. Not really much lost there, and this feels like, unless something changes radically, Rock, this kind of feels like the game that it's going to be whoever wins the post-20 team fight wins the game.
Yep. I would have liked to have seen LTK. Maybe they haven't heard of it or seen it. I would have loved to see them try to actually 39 that objective.
Sure.
And do the homework, so that way they could have pushed as 5 and maybe tried to take advantage of that Punisher. But I also understand it's scary to try and leave that minion.
You know, when you have Hogger, it's almost impossible to keep him from getting one Shrine Monkey.
True. So, but yeah, I think they've stabilized the game. You look at XP right now, it's dead even, and the next Shrine should be pre-20s, and but it's going to be real close to that 20 team fight. It's going to be make or break. You see the lasers come out. Looks like LTK wanted to siege, and the laser has immediately been declared dead. And oh my goodness, Everhart.
That would have been such a play by Pat, but there's the light bomb. Oh, a triple stun, followed by a triple stun, followed by a triple black hole. And poor LTK Goldeneye is getting cleaned up here. That's a pretty good snowball, and now it's 3 for 2. What happened?
Oh my goodness. Fangs managed to pull off the Taz Dingo and trade out for 1. And Shadow, don't die. All right, cool.
That could have, and I think should have, been so much worse for Goldeneye. But Shadow Vera and the Zul'jin player pressing their R buttons at just the right time to get a couple of counter kills and make that from a travesty into just a minor setback.
Yep. And yes, you know, we're going to be down on XP going forward, and that means that the blue team's going to get to 20s first, ReGen Rebel. And we'll have to potentially on this next shrine now, we see the next shrine is going to be top on the mini-map there. So it's like that shrine is going to go towards the keep. And if we aren't able to catch up on our XP and find an even footing fight for 20s, that might be it. That might be a dead keep, and it's going to have to come down to smart play and smart macro decisions here from LTK.
Yeah, just like the later the game, the longer the death timers get. The later the game, the more powerful the objectives get as well. So at this point in the game, with a keep exposed, an objective this late in the game could potentially be a win condition for ReGen Rebel if they secure a couple kills to go with it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
The invade's coming.
No Hogger. I think Goldeneye has to back up and give this. They realize that, and they are. And that was absolutely the bright play.
Yep, especially being down 20s, that camp is not worth it. Don't be betrayed.
There is a lot of blue skulls on this map here, Rock.
And the objective is up, and I like that the ReGen Rebels pushing their 20 advantage. They're trying to make something happen, force a play, especially while Hogger's still showing top. And now that they got their building, and and LTK's got a bunch of homework to do, we're gonna go start that objective.
If I'm LTK, I don't think you go clear out bottom. I think you let it push in and you go fight for the objective. And they are not. I just think you're gonna fall too far behind to fight for the objective.
Do you think that they have a better like defensive posturing type of fighting? Because like you see the pings of them wanting to go, but obviously they're 4. Is it easier for them to defend behind the wall than it is to try and fight in this choke?
I don't think so with an Anub and the task wall the way they've been running it there.
Yeah.
They're really piling on to that Punisher. Taco in really deep again, but all the members of Red are so long. There's the Anubarak going down. They do secure the Punisher despite losing 2.
Oh, and they're running away from the Punisher. Well done. Don't let that Punisher jump on you. Eric's going to bait it down there to the south. Do they continue or... Nope, they take their prize. Wow. The overextension and just that, once again, that raw output damage from the AAs is just tearing poor Anubarak apart.
Well, and I think Taco, when he goes back and watches, will realize, too, that he also burrowed right into the laser, too. The laser was just burning him up the whole time. So it wasn't just the AAs, but it was also the laser that he was eating, too. So despite losing the objective, really, for losing an objective, that is about as good as it's going to get if you're Goldeneye.
Yep. Yep. 2 walls, I guess 3 walls, keep walls lost from that bottom camp that they didn't go clear. which I think was still the right decision. Force that 5 fight before they get into the buildings, and I think it's still anyone's game. This is
Absolutely.
a nail biter. I'm really hoping that Red is able to find their first win condition. They need to get a lane open, and with the shrine showing in the bottom lane, it's like that might be where they want to prioritize, but they're hitting mid, and ReGen's not going to let them do it for free. And Nubarak digs in deep, and it's got a TP, it's a Emerald Wind. Hogger's trying to spin away, someone's cocooned, light bomb's out, the wall's in the way, the shockwave hits, it's just chaos. Fangs is running for his life, Snowball hits 3, that might be what they need. Taco is on an island over here, and there's the disengage. Well done. Oh no, Highbreaker! He's caught between 2 different walls of terrain! Oh no, Highbreaker's got 10 health, 50 health! Oh, he's not able to make it.
But it's a 1-for-1 because Blaze goes down on the other side. Now I think there's going to be a 2-for-2. They're just trading kills. You know,
there comes the last wind.
I was going to say before poor Anduin got caught between a Tassadar wall and a hard place, that was a lot of buttons pressed for no kills, and then 2 people from each team died.
Yeah, and you know what? Once again, when you're behind, trading is okay, because a lot of the time you're able to then make something happen. And when they don't have 5, they may not be as bold to pressure and push. Unfortunately, we're just behind on macro. You see that huge wave coming bottom. You see that Hogger's trying to answer top. And so with that opportunity, they are able to still pick up some camps.
You know, also worth noting that Brightwing was one of the heroes that lived for Rebel, so topped off Meow Meow Cats and Brightwing, whereas the players on the red team had to go all the way back because they were so beat up. But it kind of allowed Rebel to stay out there a little longer and get these camps because Brightwing is just putting out those little AoE heals there.
Yeah. Well, we have a couple dead moments here while they go and paint the map blue. Looking at level 20s here, we see that Mei has picked up Flash Freeze, so it's essentially a get out of jail free card and gets a second death. They definitely need that with how they've been pressured. Anduin's taken Censure. It's a longer duration route to be able to chastise and hold people in place. The bigger laser,
which is crazy. The range on that thing is so long.
And then you've got Tazdingo taking the upgrade as well, where he gets to heal for the damage he's done, which if he's not permanently locked down, he's been doing a lot of damage. And then you've got Power Spike, where you're able to reduce the armor for the upgrade on Shockwave.
Yeah, so Anubarak took the armor at 20. I don't think he's going to get much. Oh, look at this. Do they both know the other is there? They don't. They don't realize Taco's there. There goes Taco. Missed the stuns. Now everybody's pressing their buttons, Rock. Who's going to die first? Oh my god, it's so close. Oh, it's so close. They cocooned Tychus. I think he would have died, Rock, if he didn't cocoon him.
Yep. And then the Blaze. Look at that stun. They're stuck in the corner. Oh my goodness. The Falira. Brightwing's trying to live. 20 health, 30 health on Sylph. The wind was not enough.
I wonder if that was a misclick by Taco, because Tychus was absolutely dead to rights. Yep. And that becomes a 4-for-1 in a absolutely crazy team fight in favor of LTK Goldeneye. I love what Taco's doing, though, here. He's going to throw some beetles in here with this camp and see if they gets a keep.
Yeah, with full beetle builds, he is a pushing monster on his own. Right? Every third auto attack, he summons a beetle. So as long as he continues to keep beetling up, and it has forced a response out of the Hogger. So Taco probably gets this building, as long as he doesn't trade his life for it. I think it's well played.
I don't know if he oh, well, you're right. I think he does. Yeah. Well, this is a good call by Taco there. Really well done. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Punisher is here. And Goldeneye, despite out-killing them 17-10, looking for their first fort kill. Certainly going to happen now. But look back on the red side, Rock. Look at all this pressure.
Yep. This is it. Zul'jin's trying to siege his best with, he's not quite finished on his stacks yet, but I don't know if they're going to get much out of this. They have 2 people showing, Taco being aggressive there on the side. I think they're going to have to back up until their friends get there. There's going to be another Punisher jump here in a second. I don't think they can do anything about it, though.
Yeah, and they realized it was too late by the time they had the full team here.
Yep. And so, hey, first building down, though, they've got 1 step closer to keep. This is definitely going to be a game that goes on and on.
Although mid-keep might go down for, by the way, Mei took the shutdown talent, if you notice. That's why they were able to take that down here.
Yeah. I didn't see that you took that snowball talent on 4.
That's why they could do that mid so easily there. But this pressure mid lane, they're kind of ignoring it, and then it looks like a fight is going to develop here bottom.
Honestly, they want to take that fight in the clump. So far, the clumps have been in their favor between Ice Ball and everything else. We see the Blizzards coming out. Taco's on the wrong side of the world. Taco's deleted again from the laser in the Zul'jin. The laser is down from Tassadar, and ReGen Rebel's like, all right, never mind. You will have that camp.
The Cocoon unfortunately came out a little too late, and Zul'jin just ate him for lunch. But meanwhile, Taco still hasn't answered mid lane.
Or, yeah, LTK, yes.
Yeah.
Taco can't answer mid lane. He's
Taco
dead.
can't answer mid lane. This camp will help, but
yes.
if they just leave it, I think it's still going to go down. Kata's locked on it.
It's, oh boy, it's gonna be close.
And that.
Did you know did Anubrak get to push his button, that Trader King there, or did he get stunned? I didn't get to see if it went off.
I did not notice if it went off or not. Although the spell armor, what I started to say earlier, the spell armor will not get very much value, but the just 75 armor activatable will. But look at red core, Rock.
Oh my gosh,
3 Katas.
Yep.
Plus, mid wave cleared itself out because of the mercs.
And Hogger's
but
there,
core damage,
so
80%.
Oh, it's gonna get lower than that. Oh my gosh.
So the Katas shred 26 minutes into the game.
Yep. I said I'm glad they got the pressure. They're slowly building that win condition, right? Now that the bottom's exposed, they can potentially go there with the Mei snowballs and start whacking on it on their next victory.
Yeah, and next objective is mid. Not a stretch to say whoever gets it maybe wins? Question mark?
Yeah, I think if we don't trade out, 3 heroes for an objective type of situation again, this is going to be it. And they've been doing great. As I said, Anubrak has been diving in and trying to cocoon and make that a fight, a 4v5. And as soon as he's inside the heart of the red team, the Reds just dropping all their buttons and locking him down and preventing people from entering.
Look at Taco bottom. Look at this.
Uh-oh.
I was like, are you going to backdoor keep? Is that what they're going to do here? They are, absolutely. I love this play by Rebel. And I don't mind it by Goldeneye either, because they do need structures. But with Beetle build...
This is a great heads-up play from them, just because the objective is, quote-unquote, not worth as much to them, because that still has a keep to go through. So if you take this keep for free, which the Beetle build and Luna Poison knocks it down, now there's one more lane of pressure that can put Katas and damage on your core while you fight for this objective.
So, no... Rebel doesn't need the objective. They win a team fight, they can end. I think Goldeneye probably needs the objective to win.
Yes. If they don't get the objective, they need at least 4 dead. So that way they can support the Zul'jin in their fighting. I like where the laser's placed. It's on the other side of the wall, and they're tearing up this objective. They're already halfway there. Yep. And look at that range on that laser.
It's so long. It is so long.
And it looks like ReGen has decided to give.
They got in there too late.
They have to.
They couldn't play into laser, and they couldn't play into Hogger bounce.
So now that they've got it secured, if they can safely defend without losing, like I said, 3-4 players, this game's going to 40 minutes.
Yeah, now they are going to have to clear bottom out. They can't let that push in too much longer. And they won't have a wave with them, but they will have John Cena with them, but a full wall for ReGen Rebel.
Yep, Hogger's heading back. Taco's in position. Let's see if he can do the tech. He should throw out a stun, and then he should E away.
Perfect.
Well done.
Texan.
So, it's well done from them. And this Punisher, being arcane, has those spinny laser things, and they do hurt, so
especially
don't stand in them. Yeah. So another jump is coming soon. Don't group up. Oh no! No laser things underneath Brightwing this time. Oh, poor Brightwing. Oh my gosh, you can't push away John Cena with your wins. But yeah, having that wall there, they didn't feel comfortable jumping in and fighting past it. But that's half a keep dead. So they, once again, it's that slow victory of every objective pushes them closer to this win.
Harkins Bane. Rock, best coach in NGS, now best co-caster in NGS, question mark?
Well, I don't know about that. Thanks for showing up tonight, Harkin. It's good to see you.
So, first part of this game, despite winning in kills, Goldeneye was just falling further and further behind in structures and map control. But there was a point at about level 22, randomly, where they kind of seemed to draw a line in the sand. And it was like, this is where we have to stop. And they've been hanging tough ever since then.
Yeah, and they have enough wave clear and enough map control right now that they are able. So Lunara didn't take the poison talent on 4, and so they don't have the ability to just raw siege the core. Like, sure, Anubrak can tank with the barrel. Oh, they're looking at it though. They see them rotating down again. So yes, Anubrak and them can tank the structures, but they don't really have tons of damage for the buildings. If Luna instead would have went the PvE talent, then maybe I could see them making a call for core. And look at this patience.
They're both waiting for the other to show. That's what's happening.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So Rebel wanted Goldeneye to show so they could burn down mid-keep. And Goldeneye was hoping to catch Rebel at their camp. Neither was successful, and they both disengaged from where they were at, not knowing where the other was. That was a really fun little interaction that neither of these teams will know about until they watch the VOD.
Yeah, well, they've got to get some knowledge, right? Because they're like,
sure.
Oh, where are they? They're hiding.
They're on camps? Are they on camps? We're on our camp, and they're on their camp, right?
Yeah, it was well played. It's good patience. That's something that you don't see in your Storm League matches ever. So it's really fun to get to see the coordination of the teams put that together.
Now, bottom going to have to be dealt with here again. Hogger needs to be careful. He's going to be by himself, and Rebel will know that. And look, you can see Hogger already backing up. Hogger has displayed Everbright, or Everheart on Hogger. Really good map awareness a couple of different occasions this game, backing up before getting into trouble.
This is going to be a tough one. They've still got homework to do. Objective is top, which is opposite of the lane that's super pushed right now. And you can almost see, look at Taco and them getting in
position. They're
going
to get mid-keep
again. You're going to come clear, right?
No, they're just going to get mid-keep. Rebel's just going to go get mid-keep right here. As soon as
I thought they were baiting for
as soon as Goldeneye goes onto objective, Rebel is going to burn this keep down.
Yep. And it's a great play. They have a keep still to hold on to.
So they'll wait a few seconds, make sure they're actually on it when they see a Shrine Monkey go, or they're going to backdoor.
Oh, they're going core?
Oh my goodness, this is crazy. I mean, this is 32 minutes into the game and the core is already hurt. They can pull this off. They have Black Hole too for disengage.
Yep, here it comes. Core's already taken damage, shields are gone. There's Hogger got in the backline, that's the first kill. Taco's gonna go down too, that's the second kill. They stop the Zul'jin damage in the Luna and they get it! Oh my goodness, GG's. Well played by ReGen. Yeah, great call, great coordination, way to hang out and be sneaky and wait for the team to make that threat in that backdoor.
Yeah, Goldeneye really hung in there. The second half of that game made it really tough. But man, when you're that late into the game with basically three keeps down, like that third keep was barely hanging in there, and your core already taken 40%, your margin for error is razor thin. You know, and Goldeneye responded to the backdoor pretty freaking fast. They got in there, they killed two people, and it still wasn't enough.
And yeah, unfortunately, Taco was able to cocoon the Zul'jin, so one of their major damage dealers just could not have a higher impact, and so being able to, and then Brightwing did a great job of displacing them with the Emerald Wind, the Black Hole, just too much stuff and not enough time. So, and oh, look at that! Thanks for the raid, Mr. Weenus.
Yeah, Weenus and friends, you came just in time to see I'm sure what'll be compelling interview with ReGen Rebel. Let's jump into NGS Lobby 3 Rock, and we'll meet Taco down there.
Sounds good.
All right, and then I will also see who we're going to throw this game to so when Taco joins us.
Okay.
Raka. We will throw to Raka, who, oh no, she hasn't started yet. There's nobody to throw to, Rock. Nobody to throw to.
That's sad.
It is sad.
They'll be on soon.
Well, if only somebody had picked up the 7 p.m. C West Division game, because that is obviously the best division in NGS C West.
Of course.
Oh, hey, Taco's here. What's up, Taco?
I am here. Well, as one of my teammates said, go tell Mongoose about your 10 deaths.
Oh, we noticed.
So
We noticed. We even said when you picked the Anubarak, we're both like, that's a lot of AA damage, Mr. Anubarak, and whew.
so the percentage damage from Tychus, it's like, well, if I have the tank with the smallest health pool, then percentage damage is like, eh. And also shields, right? So it's like free health.
I
I don't
mean,
know. I
sure.
burrowed. Most of that was me burrowing aggressively.
Absolutely. Yeah, there was actually one in
Because
particular where you burrowed directly on top of the laser and you ate laser, May
yeah,
Blizzard, Zul'jin damage, and Tychus damage simultaneously.
I will
Now,
say, to the credit of all of Goldeneye, lost. I was mashing R for 90% of my health bar for 90% of those fights. So, um, yeah, I was disrupted from my cocoon a lot
you know,
to prevent a lot of that front loaded damage.
it's funny. That was actually a comment we had too. I was thinking Taco seems really late on these cocoons. They're coming out far too late to be. And I think Rock asked her like, is he even able to press his buttons? Like, did he get his armor off? I don't feel like
Mhm.
he's able to press his buttons.
Nope, couldn't press them.
Yeah, so that one engage in the bottom bush towards the it's hard to say late game because the game went 30 minutes, but towards the late
That's
game,
us in
you
shrines, man.
you dug down underneath their team, and I was like, all right, he's got the armor, he's ready, and you just melted. I was like, I don't know if he got to actually push Trader King. Like he picked that talent. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know if it even
Well,
went
yeah,
off.
because I couldn't use rewind because I wasn't living long enough to press buttons anyway. So it's like, all right, let me go Trader King. It's like, oh well, I mean the percentage damage goes through it anyway, but Zul'jin pressing R. Um, yeah, the our first season we had a 42-minute shrines game, so that was fun.
Oh my goodness.
And fun
Yeah.
fun fact, the fastest game in NGS history was about 9:30 ish. So you could have played 4 of those games before your 42-minute game ended.
I thought the fastest game in NGS history was 2:30.
Was it 2:30? We have a command for it. Maybe I'll look it up. It wasn't
Yeah,
2:30. Maybe it was
it's the
3:30.
base race.
Maybe it was 3:30. I think it was
Yeah.
3:30. Okay, so we could have
Anyway,
played 12 of
a
those.
lot. Yeah.
Well, Taco, first of all, happy season 14 to you, sir. How are you and Mrs. Taco?
Thanks. We're moving along. We're still trying to figure out who to blame for us being in Div D.
Your record last season.
I'm really proud of the team for that. It was definitely every game was a sweaty game last season, and I know that it will be this season too. But always looking forward to making new friends and making placements sleep with one eye open.
So talk about game one. Uh,
That was Garden.
Yes.
It was so long ago. It's almost hard to remember. Yes,
That'll
it
show
was
you for
Garden.
casting us.
No kidding. Yeah, game one, Garden. I haven't. I don't know if you guys did your homework on Goldeneye. I didn't do too much homework. If you know, Taco, was the May something they play that was also a denial, or you think it was primarily a denial, or just primarily what they play?
Um, Shadowvera definitely proved to be a really really good May.
Some big time snowballs.
Yeah, she did a great job. It was fun to see someone else play May, and it was something that we were anticipating, but it was one of those like, well, we don't play into it much, but yeah, so we'll let it through. But it was something that we were anticipating seeing.
Mm.
If that answers your question.
Yeah, game one, it's all coming back to me now. It felt like, and maybe Roxy, if you had a similar impression, that in a lot of those mid to late game fights in game one, the two sides would kind of clash. The tanks and the offlaners would throw their CC at each other, and then in the background you have Tassadar and Vala just outputting metric tons of damage.
I mean,
There,
that's what they do.
hmm I felt like your early game, even with the spell armor on Diablo, just Jaina and friends until you got souls, were still just chunking you so hard. You pretty much were screaming and yelling for poor Vel to come save you, and then Vel would end up getting blown up by a blizzard because it's like, I saved you, and
By
then
2
it's like,
blizzards,
well,
actually.
Yeah.
so it's that early game looked rough, but you guys turned it around. What changed, or what did you try and do after the slow early game on
I,
Garden?
I don't know if 10 deaths tipped you off, but I'm not a very patient player. Um,
Okay, I'm actually glad you brought that up, Taco. I want to ask you because I commented this in the game. You guys were setting up on their side of the map on the top right mercenaries. You were
for
in
Garden.
no, game 2. You were in
Oh,
the
okay.
you were in the bush. You guys were setting up an ambush, and I know you could kind of see them coming, but you ran out of the bush and kind of missed a stun on Tassadar. And I was like, Taco, I want to be like, Taco, you need to wait, patience. Did you just get antsy, or did you forget to turn beetles off and a beetle ran out of the bush and gave your position away?
I actually don't know. Um, it was probably me being antsy. Because it's take the opportunities where you can.
True.
And I don't know. I honestly am not sure. There was a lot of me messing up that game. But to answer Rock's question, um, the the team does a really good job of grounding me. Like I'm still overall like making calls, but yeah, Vel yelling at me, "Hey, you're putting me in a bad spot with this stuff. You're getting both of us killed." Pat like keeping me focused on what's next. Comms coming from Meow and still about, hey, this is what's going on the map. These are the things we need to do. It one helps not dwell on the mistakes, but it's also, hey, this is how we fix those mistakes, which is a really hard combination to get. But because it's hard to fix a mistake without dwelling on it. But that's one of the things that my team is really good at, is pointing out my mistakes quickly. So
Yeah, and then teams sometimes get trigger shy after the first 2 or 3 failed engages, or overextensions before we have buttons, or just slight engages before people are ready, and then they start, backing up. They're like, well, maybe I need to wait for the engage, and then you don't get that engage because you're just, whether it be trigger shy or just not confident. So to have your team there to back you up and support you in that
Yeah,
is great.
I was going to say something similar, Rock. And for people that are watching, Taco and I are buddies, so I'm teasing him a little bit, but it's because we're friendly. And so I say this actually, Taco, not to tease you, but I'm being 100% honest. A lot of tanks and players dying 8, 9, 10 times in a game are going to start turning down the aggression, maybe hesitating, maybe not looking to make the play. And to your credit, and maybe to an extra death or two, but mostly to your
yeah,
credit, you did not let that deter you from trying to make a play to win the game. And I think that is mostly a credit to you that you didn't get trigger shy despite the fact that they were punishing you. I hope that makes sense.
it does. Yeah. Oh, and I really appreciate it, Mongoose. Again, I learned my competitive tanking mainly from you, which is why I'll never move above Dibby. But no, I'm kidding. I'm joking with that one.
I mean, it's
But
it's fair because it's true, right?
but no, I like. I mean, I'm an aggressive tank. Anybody that ever scouts us, like even this set, and my team knows, like that I'm an aggressive tank, and having the team being able to reel me back is really important. But it's yeah, it's not oh well, we can't do stuff. I mean, if there's times where I legitimately can't do stuff, yeah, that's harder. But it's not me running into my death over and over again. It's me trying to figure out what's going different. Here it was me running into my death, but at least the rest of the team was getting out. And so
Hmm. Yeah, Vel did a great
but
job of peeling with those wins in both games.
yeah,
When something went bad or something wasn't looking good, the Emerald win came out right away. And even Pat had black holes and things to disengage as well as take damage.
Um, so game 2, because that's the one that's fresh in our mind and was a little crazy. You guys kind of controlled like the first 2/3 of that game, and then they just kind of like put a brick wall up that you guys couldn't quite seem to put it away for what seemed like a really long time. Are you still shot calling, Taco?
For the most part, like I said, it's one of the things we've been working on as a team is group communications, where everybody kind of knows what to feed. And so there was a lot of things where like Pat or Coffee would say, "Hey, we should probably do this," and I was like, "Yes, we're doing that." So like yes, but it's still a group effort.
So, and then big tip of the hat to the group effort, because when you were the last man standing taking top keep, that's a really intelligent play. The
That
backdoor
was
call at the end
that
was
was
was a
me.
great call. That's a great call, and
The back door was my wife. She likes the back door.
Moving
flying
on
right
to
by
our
that.
family friend stream.
Oh no!
They so the
No!
so
No!
in
Weenus,
chat,
no!
you're fine. So in chat we have Highbreaker, who is the captain actually of Goldeneye, was chatting and gave some insight, some little tidbits of information about their ban strategy, and kind of as you called it, they actually were trying to get you onto a potential tertiary tank by banning Joe and taking May, as
Trying to
well as
punish you.
Shadow. Yeah, and as well as Shadow is a May Joe enthusiast, and so that was definitely something that um, looked like it worked. Like I said, getting a last pick tank every game, and trying to find a way to get in there. So good scouting, everyone, and it's always fun to kind of see how people dissect different teams and play different maps. But yeah, that was fun.
I kept getting target banned a lot our first couple seasons, and so I think I'm at the point where I can't get tank choked. Which is
I
I
mean,
can get a lot of tank deaths, but I don't think I can get choked.
let's say the you guys outkilled 20-10. You don't usually win, that scenario.
To be fair, I am the difference there.
Well, what I was going to say, I wasn't going to beat that bush again, but that I think is also a commentary on the shot calling, right? Because that means you, in theory, had less times with an advantage on the map, and you maximize them to open up opportunities to end the game.
Yeah,
So
that's what we're trying to do.
before
Is
before
maximize those opportunities.
before we let you go, how's ReGen Rebel? You guys, I think, pretty much intact from last season, right? How you guys doing? What do you expect from yourselves this season?
We have one roster ad. That's the only change to our roster this season. We added a husband to the team. Meow's wonderful husband.
So now you have Mr. Meow Meow Cats.
Yeah, in Discord he's Mrow Mrow. It's like MROW Mrow, but like Mr.
Meow
Ow.
Cats.
It was supposed to be a play on Mr. Meow. It didn't work very well. But yeah, so we have Mr. Cats. And I think we're still going strong. We have a lot of building blocks to go from, and sometimes you have to remember what those building blocks are. But we're trying to build a roster and a hero depth that is worthy of being in Div D, and I think it's going pretty well because we lost horribly during both off-season things, and our Storm Leagues are going like garbage. So that's usually a good indicator that NGS is going to go okay.
Absolutely. Any shout outs on your way out the door?
Well, of course. First and foremost, thank you, Mongoose and Rock, for the cast. Always love a good cast. I'm looking forward to watching it. And then of course to my lovely wife, Velaravia, for I would say keeping me alive, but
Game 1, she kept you
yeah.
alive a lot. To her own detriment, especially in the early game.
Yeah. Beast, who was available tonight, but was gracious enough to stay out of both, or not to stay out, but to sit out both games. Because he deemed that we would have a better path to victory tonight that way.
What a team player.
And right, and to Murda, of course, the founder of ReGen, and for giving us a home. And last but not least, to LTK Goldeneye. I was talking to Shadow ahead of time that Goldeneye is still my favorite James Bond movie, and also they were really fun to play with, really good chat interactions in the lobby and stuff. And so I'm looking forward to playing with them again in the future.
My favorite interaction was the best friend spray responded with the heart spray. By the way, that was
Yes, I
super cool.
loved it. That's trademark Taco, and Rebel is running mid and best friend spraying. So
Well, congrats again, and Ghost wants to scrim you, so go scrim Ghost.
uh yeah, I don't know if that's gonna happen
Have
yet
fun
or
with
not. I
that.
still need Okay, thanks, love you, bye.
See you, bud. All right, Rock. Well, that was a pretty fun set to open, and always fun chatting with Taco. Any shout outs or thank yous before we sign off for you?
Yeah, just if you continue to like my silly commentary or just want to continue learning about the game or enjoy watching a stream, I do stream as well over at twitch.tv/rockyourworlds with an S on the end. I mainly do just Heroes of the Storm content, sometimes Halo things, but just trying to help learn and improve at the game and just have fun. So thank you again for the opportunity, Mongoose. I said I don't get to cast very often, just between real life kiddo stuff that
Oh, sure.
was on screen and things, and so it's always fun. I love playing. And once again, great job tonight, both ReGen Rebel and Goldeneye. I know it may not feel good coming off of a loss, but there were so many well played moments that you guys definitely are not like in a wrong league. You guys are placed well, and it looks like you've got some wins ahead. Just tighten up a couple things, whether it be engages in game one and figuring out who's going first and how we net kills, or in game two just trying to make some slightly better decisions so that we don't get so far behind that we have to double them in kills to be able to stabilize. So really good stuff from both teams tonight.
Yeah, and speaking of you streaming, if you choose to, we might be losing in Hero League or Storm League here in about wow, that goes back right here. Like losing in Storm League here in about 30 minutes ish. If anybody's around, I was going to throw it to somebody, but nobody else is casting for about a half an hour or so. In which case, in such time, about 30 minutes, you can go see Raka. She is casting a match on her channel, so go check that out. And thanks to everybody for hanging out, and we'll see you sometime next week or maybe in game. Have a awesome night, everybody.